Da 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 da. Hello, everybody. My name is Puppetine from the Geeky Puppet Show. Here on the Geeky Puppet Show today for what? For Stargirl. Yes, it is time for a recap and review of my favorite CW show. Period. That's it. I love Superman and Lois, but seeing this show just makes me realize how much I love it. And it's really good. But before we get into the recap and review, let's go ahead and introduce In That Darkness. You can see his tag right there. But you can see, if you look closely, Froggy!
What's going on, guys? I had some helium today.
Oh no, Froggy on helium.
Hey, what's going on? Sorry.
One second. I think I have my own helium balloon. Oh yeah, right here on the desk. Hello, everybody.
Hold on. I want some of that.
What?
What's going on, Dad? You want to hang out? We talking about Stargirl?
You almost sound like Elmo.
Helium is in the chat asking me about the amphibian agenda.
Well, you can talk about your amphibian agenda right now. I feel as it's losing its effect, but you know, it's okay.
All right, we've had our fun. We had the one people watching us.
Yes.
No Marania, sadly. She must be watching us on the repeat.
Well, that's okay. Hopefully she'll join us live for Batwoman later.
And for those of you who made it 2 minutes into watching our video, we thank you for your commitment to that. We'll see you next week.
No.
Well,
Let's go ahead and...
I'm just talking about the people who jump in and then leave, you know?
Well, I don't
We
think...
do like it when you guys stay past 3 minutes, you know? It helps out with the algorithm, but... And I don't...
Okay. Oh, we
it's
have
not
our
okay.
loyal viewers like Tillium and Evil Black Cat and Marania.
I'm trying to expose myself to the world, damn it.
It's okay. Well, don't expose yourself, please. We don't need that.
I will do it. And you will like it.
But let's go ahead.
Click subscribe and click like.
Into the recap and review. Why? Well, what happens? We saw last week as Courtney was pulled into the Shadowlands. Yes. And now she is there, and she ends up going through, well, kind of haunting memories. Why? Well, there are figures such as the former councilman, what was his name? The Wizard, and his son, who Isaac killed.
I'm not sure it was the Wizard, but I can't remember. But I remember, his son, yep.
There's also various scenes such as her mother saying how, treating Courtney like the babysitter, saying how, oh, my life was so much better
until I had the baby.
Courtney was born. Yes, and so Eclipso's trying to torment her in the Shadowlands. But she ends up meeting in the school up with Sydney. Sydney's alive, yes, and she's been going through the various things as well, so she's killed her father.
And I want to point out that Cindy attacked her, they fight, and Courtney grabs a mop, uses it as a staff, they fight, and she pins her as well, and then Cindy cuts her arm, and then Cindy quick stops in her dead tracks because she realized that she's real, because only real people have the blood. Everyone else is just make-believe. It's Eclipso was born there, pretty much. This is land. He runs everything there.
Are you saying we're not real?
Well, look at you. You're fading away. You might be related to the Shade.
Maybe. It's either Lex Luthor or the Shade. You know, it would be a good reason to wear a hat. But, yes.
You're the shady Lex Luthor guy. That's it.
Sydney and Courtney want to try to find a way out. But they end up arguing, and Sydney has to face Eclipso coming harder because she actually calls out saying, "You hear that, Eclipso? This is my paradise." And that is when she sees her mother, who she ended up killing as a child, and she gets taken away by her father's henchmen. But then, Courtney, as she's trying to go through and find Sydney, she ends up meeting Charles McNider, Dr. Midnight.
Yep, the OG.
The OG! Yes. And he explains how, he can see the Shadowlands for what they are. Wearing the goggles, they keep him protected from the illusions. There's actually seen...
And Courtney, and I guess this episode, she's really naive in this episode.
Yeah.
I mean, more than usual. I don't know if she's got her fog of a mind here, or because she's not used to this. But even Cindy points it out. It calls her a nitwit. And Miss Charles McNider basically takes off his goggles, tells her, like, look, it's all illusion. And then, when we hear his daughter basically, Daddy, he starts getting tormented. And quickly puts the goggles on because otherwise he hears his daughter's voice blaming him for her death.
Which is kind of ridiculous. But getting onwards, he manages to make contact with Beth and explain that Courtney is alive. Ah! So they go to try to find the Shade because the Shade might know a way of getting them out. They track him down to a theater using the Green Lantern's ring. And they find the Shade in this old theater.
I thought they used a Track My Shade card.
The ring, they put the ring up to the card and it uses that to help track him.
But no, guess what else did they learn? He's in two places at once. He's in the Shadowland and also at the theater.
Yeah, but
so they discover he has access. And I gotta say though, this scene and that whole entire scene where Courtney's mother, forget what her name is, but her and what?
That's the actress's name.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that's her real name. That's not really. But anyway, Courtney's mom and I guess we'll just go with Luke Wilson. And we're just saying actors' names. I know Pat. Yeah, not Pat. Anyway, they confront them and they say like, "Hey, bro, you need to help. You need to help us." And he's like, "They're dead." She's like, "No." Yeah. She says, the mother says, they're alive. And Pat says, Dr. Midnight is with him. He's like, Dr. Midnight is dead. And, and he's like, nope, he's alive. Like, he's there with Courtney.
The Shade didn't know. Yeah, the Shade didn't know.
He thought he just, got rid of him. But he didn't really, what he said. And this is where we see that the Shade is as evil as everybody thinks he is. He actually feels remorse.
Yeah. No, he's not that bad of a guy.
But the problem is that he's still dying though. So I mean, at this point, he's still holding his gut, but he has enough power, and he decides to be real right, and he turns the projector screen blank white, and it focuses on where Courtney and Dr. Midnight are, and they're in the old JSA headquarters in Starman's room with the car. Courtney sees the headlights going on, and she starts seeing outside, and he says, "You need to come through." But then as soon as Courtney goes to take a step, she's realized, I can't. I need Cindy.
Yeah. So she goes to try to save Sydney, and she manages to, but she gets sidetracked by Eclipso for a second as a child, and he shows her Yolanda and Rick and says, "You're responsible for these people. What happened to them? It's all your fault. This is what's really happening." And then they end up in Courtney's home, and she again tormenting her. He sits on the stairs. This child actor is phenomenal.
Yes, and Becca Bessinger, I think her name is, the one that plays Courtney.
No, the kid.
No, I know. I'm talking about I'm telling the story here. I know it involves the kid. Dingbat. The kid. So they talk about the kid, and she's praising, and they all say like, "Yeah, this kid is pretty much going places. He is a phenomenal actor. He knows all his scenes and remembers everything." She admires him, and she gives him props. And so it's really apparent. It's if you watch the show, looking at this kid playing like the young kid version of Eclipso, or just in the kid form, which it really looks like a kind of like a Dennis the Menace or a Puppetine with hair. Ooh.
See? Anyway, Ultimately, he asks Courtney, "How do you feel about me? How do you really feel about me?" And Courtney finally says, "I hate you," and that makes him smile. And I was a little worried there because giving into the darkness in the Shadowlands is not a good sign. But it doesn't. She's able to get through the door and gets to Sydney. Sydney gets to say that she's sorry to her mom, and that helps her move along. And that's when they rush. The three of them all manage to escape.
Now, at this point, did you think anybody was going to get left behind?
I thought Charles McNider was going to get left behind.
I was gonna say I think he's gonna say I've been dead this whole entire time. I can't come home.
No,
Or he doesn't want to go, he didn't want to come home because there's nothing to come home to.
No, I thought it was going to be a situation of because Courtney got separated and was with Sydney for a moment, but Charles McNider is able to help them.
Can you imagine if they just would have had Dr. Midnight just get gutted by the little kid with a knife, like a Chucky thing?
Oh, I wouldn't have liked that. But they managed to escape. The truly sad part is, though, even though they escape, the Shade is hurt, really hurt, and he's used so much of his power that he's just lying there and he tells
Courtney's mom. Yeah, Beth. No, not Beth.
Not Beth. Beverly. Beverly.
Is that the Courtney's mom's name?
I think so.
I don't know. But anyway, he does say tells her to hey, when people think of me, let them know that the Shade, I actually did something good for somebody.
I died doing something good.
But also, before this, he said the only reason that he helped him out because she reminds him of his younger sister that he had that died all these years ago. And which I always wondered because remember the whole ruse from the last episode, he was lying. I wondered if that was true, the whole thing talking about his sister, but apparently it is.
Yep, it is. And it's very sad because we see him as he just sort of stops.
Now, this is comic books. Who's to say he's really dead? Maybe.
I was thinking that, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Because I don't think he knows the full extent of his powers.
So you're saying he could exist as a little shadow?
He could evolve. Maybe he thought he's dead, and it turns out he comes back in another season.
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But overall, if it is a goodbye, he was a phenomenal character. The actor was great, and we truly, truly will miss him. But next week's episode seems Sydney is going to team up with the JSA, the new JSA, and they are going to try to take down Eclipso, but we're going to have to wait and see that. But it was a very, very good episode. I liked it. The black and white was kind of trippy, and I like that too.
Did you know it was black, white, and blood? Black, white, and red? Courtney's arm.
Harley Quinn, is that you? But there's also the matter to discuss. There are now 2 Dr. Midnights, and I think it'll be just fine. I think they're going to coexist quite nicely.
And as a devil advocate, what if there's multiple ways it could be? The good way is where they basically they work together, and he goes to find his wife and he retires. The bad thing is that most people might think well, he retires, but then he says, I think her name is Beth.
Yes, Beth.
And he says, "You're a much better Dr. Madara I could ever be." Which really seems to be they do this every time when there's a CW show.
I don't think they're going to go that route.
No, but I know. I'm just saying.
The closest that will come to that is saying I couldn't ask.
Or the other option is that Beth that kills him.
No, what? No. The other option is that he tells Beth I couldn't ask for a better successor, and you know what? I don't mind that at all. Beth has done a good job. I love this show. And we're going to go ahead and what was I saying? Yes, I'm going to go ahead and say that this was a great episode. Again, I'm excited for next week's episode. We only have a few left before the season is done.
I really want to see Jade use more powers. Maybe next season we get Obsidian, her brother.
Yeah, that sounds good. Tillium brings up a good point that we are close to 100. Let's get this channel to 100 subs, please. We would really appreciate it. Dominic Powell brought up the fact that the Shade is the definition of a wild card, neutral character in the show, just as much as he is in the comics. Heck, Richard acted as a mentor to Jack Knight.
Yep. The third successor.
Thank you, Tillium. Thank you. Keep watching this show. We appreciate you. But that about does it. I hear Froggy in my head. Stop that, Froggy. I know. Put the ticker up. Mm-hmm.
I wasn't talking about that. You liar.
Oh. I don't
know what I was
saying. I don't know what you were saying, though. Oh, gosh. That's disgusting. How dare you?
No, but wrong one. That was directed to you. Sorry. I'm trying to talk to another frog like a lady frog. But anyway, but what I wanted to say is 3 words.
Okay. But
wow, you don't. Wow. Maybe we should plan these out for because you're just clueless. 3 words, and I always say all the time. I want you to say them right now.
I don't want to say them.
You should.
I don't want to say it.
Do it. Come on. The people are waiting.
Eat at Yo Mamas. Alrighty, bye everybody. Bye!